So in this lab, we're going to access to Microsoft Azure resources. So basically, we try to configure the virtual machine. Your all the credential, you can access it from here. So first, to access to Microsoft Cloud, you have to use your browser. Then go to this URL called portal.azure.com. Then press enter. So sign in with your admin credential. So this admin credential is not this admin credential. Click on you another account, then go to resources. We have to use this credential. Otherwise, you won't be access to some of the resources. Oh, sorry, this subscription should be username, then followed by password. So this is the one you use to log in. Don't use this, not this one. So if you first log in here, I think it will show you this intro. Just you can actually read if you want, but for me, I done it before, so I just close this down. Then on top of the pages here, right? Then look for something called virtual machine. This is a virtual machine we're talking about. So click on this one. We will see the virtual machine that's set up for us. So this is one virtual machine that have been prepared for us for these exercises. Then click on this one. You can see the virtual machine detail. So this virtual machine is called SC900 Win virtual machine. Is indicate that this virtual machine actually is a Windows platform. So there are basic information here. Take time to read how many memory, what are the CPU configuration given to you, what are the operating system running on this virtual machine. So with that, you can click done. So now this is a virtual machine. So what we're going to do here, because we want to connect to the virtual machine that's on cloud, so we need to do some configuration so that we can connect our computer to the virtual machine and we can do something over there. Because this virtual machine, remember, it's not reside near to you or somewhere you can touch. It's actually have to be connected with your internet to these resources. So we need to do some configuration. So from the left panel here, right, click on network setting. Click on network setting is here. This is a little bit confused, so click on here. So you will see the network setting here already. So with that, I think we have completed our task 1. Then we move on to the task 2. So what we need to do here is we basically need to configure, we need to make sure that this virtual machine, we have to do some setting in order for us to connect. We can use something called remote desktop connection to connect to this virtual machine so that you can do something on it. So what we need to do here is we don't kacau this one, we don't touch this one at this moment. So we open another new tab. Or according to instruction here, you can just right click and then click open link in new tab. So it will open it up for you without typing, without go in and type here again. So what you need to do next here, right? You have to click on this search bar and type network security group. So according to here, there are 2 network security groups. One is classics. One is, I believe, is up to date one. So according to the instruction, we have to choose the up to date one. So uncheck this one. Then what we need to do is we need to create a new group. Click on this one. And we have to start creating the network security group for this exercise. So what you need to do here is this is your subscription. For every access to Azure, you might have subscription to use the resources. So Microsoft will charge based on that. Then the research group here is, this is most of the resources actually on Azure are managed by group. Why managed by group? So that you can actually easily manage them. For example, you have project 1, you can say project 1 group, project 2, project 2 group, and something like that. So that, let's say the project 1 is completed, you can just go in and remove all the resources. It will actually save your cost from keeping it running. So that is how you can easily manage the resource group. There's the purpose here. Okay, so subscription, leave it alone. A research group, so we choose a lab HC900 according to the instruction here. Then name here, we have to use NSG according to this. NSG SC900, and then press key in. And then this one, you leave it by default. Then you can click review and create. So it will take a while for it to create these resources. It depends on my lab. So it's a pretty fast yesterday. I think comparatively today, my resources are pretty slow. So we have to wait here until it pop up message for you to go to the resources. Okay, so done. So click go to resources here. So now you will come to this network group overview. Don't be confused with this. This is your virtual machine overview. This is actually your network group. This is a network group overview. So read to this yourself. So what we need to do next here is we have to come to this setting. Come to this setting here and create network interface. Then you have to click associate with virtual machine. So basically, we want to create a network security group. Virtual machine is actually a resource that we want to manage, because in order to access the virtual machine, we need to make sure that this network have been properly configured so that it can be connected from our computer. Okay, so select this and press OK. And just wait after it's done with association. So we have to wait for it to be compute as well. So for my virtual machine today, or the lab that I'm accessing today, is very slow compared to yesterday. So just bear with me for this moment. Okay, now completed. Then we have to don't do anything here right now. So go back to our virtual machine as instructions say. So then what we need to do is we need to refresh our page. And then you can see here, okay, so I mean, there are network security group being associated. It's a BIM BM37. It is exactly like what we had created here. And this is your IP address. And this associate to the virtual machine. Okay, cool, done. So from the connection here, you can, there's from the left panel here, there's a connect. So basically what we want to do here is we have done associating the virtual machine to network group. So we want to test if we can access to it now. This port 3389 is actually a remote desktop port connection. Remember, for every resources on the internet, there are IP address plus the port number. Port number used to indicate the services that you want to access to. For example, most of you, when are using browser, you are connecting to port 80 in general. If you want to use remote desktop, you have to connect to port 3389. So different services, you have to use different port. So now we want to set up a virtual machine in such a way that we can connect to through remote desktop connection. Then we have to make sure that this port can be accessed. So in order to verify that this port can be accessible, press check access. Let's see what will be happening. So it said that not accessible, meaning that you cannot connect at this moment. So what we need to do then here is the reason is not being allowed to be accessed because if you go and see the rule of your network resource here, okay, network setting here, you can see here, not all port are open for connection. There's a deny here. So what we need to do here is we have to go to network security group here to allow this port to be accessed. So that's what we are doing here. So we have to define the rule. So what we're going to do next here is we have to go down. This is a little bit confused here because the instruction is not exactly one. Okay, not this one. Later on, there's one part here. So what we need to do according to here, right? You just need to click on this one. Okay, check the inbound security rule. Blah blah blah. Here, what we need to do is add a new rule according to this source. Any source mean where does it connected to? Source port, all this same designation or RDP services. We allow RDP at this point. So you can see here there what you can define what kind of services to be allowed. Then destination port. So it's a 3389. Protocol, you leave it alone. Action, allow, and priority 100. Higher, lower number indicating higher priority. So this one we just leave it as a default. Then this is a name. You can type me any name for description. Allow, remote, desktop. You can put in the description so that you know what this rule all about. So press add, then it will creating a security rule for you. So once the rule provision, it will appear on the list of the inbound rules. So this is the one that we just created with the priority 100. Then we completed task number 2. So task number 3 here is we done all this setup. What we need to do here is we want to test. Okay, we want to test now. Can we access to a virtual machine or not? Okay, so in doing so, go to your virtual machine tab and select connect here. Then go and download this RTP file. You don't have to do anything, just download this file. Okay. Then what you need to do next here is we go to connect again and we try to check if this port is accessible or not. So not accessible. You have sometimes if happen to be like this, we have to wait for a while because all the setup in Azure will take a while to be implemented. It can be second to few minutes. It depends on the how busy is the virtual machine. Okay, now accessible. So we download the file here. So what we're going to do is we're going to open the file we downloaded. Okay, so basically when you click on this, we actually try to make our virtual machine connected to try to establish a remote desktop connection. Okay, so because there's no certificate, it would normally pop you the warning message. So we just proceed with connect. Okay, then we need to enter the credential for the virtual machine. So what we have to do here is we click on the resources, then look for the virtual machine password. So this is the one that we're going to use. As I said, you do know what you're doing. Click on this and key in the password. Okay, press OK. So now we make connection to virtual machine. So there is a warning, blah blah blah, everything here, and click yes. Okay, when you click yes here, I mean we are actually connecting to virtual machine to a desktop. So when you see a bar like this, indicate that you are actually performing a remote desktop connection. So our virtual machine IP address is here. It can be different than mine, 52.170.83.4. Okay, so while waiting, we just go through this. So it's just like a new computer here. Just click accept. Don't care about this. Okay. Then you are connected to virtual machine. You see. So there's two. You if you're first time using remote desktop, you'll be confused. But it's just that this is a virtual desktop that is on the server. This is actually your working desktop here. So now we go into our virtual machine. Just click yes. So now in order to test our virtual machine is working or not, can be connected into internet, just open your browser and configure start without a data, just confirm this and then continue without this data, because we just want to test. Okay, you can type in your any website, Google or Malaysia Kini if you want. It's just like your computer. It just but this computer resided on the cloud, so the internet are very fast. Okay, we complete this one already. Then accordingly, so what we need to do is we need to when we've done this, we need to minimize our virtual machine. So completed our task 3. Then we move on to our last task. The last task here is just now we allow connection to our remote virtual machine. So what we're going to do here is we have to configure the remote. We have to configure the virtual machine in such a way that we don't want to allow internet from here. Okay, so meaning that now you can see we can do internet from the virtual machine. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the virtual machine behavior to disallow internet connection from the virtual machine, not from your desktop. So you have to differentiate it. So what we need to do then is we have to go back to our virtual machine. Click on the connect page. Okay, then what we need to do here is in our connect page we have to hang on, go to networking setting here. This is a little bit confused. So then we have to go down and create outbound rule. So this one is a little confused. It updated in the interface but not updated in the instruction. Then what we need to do here is source all this keeping by default. Okay. Then what we need to do here is we want to deny. Okay, deny everything. Okay, let me go through. So this is a source. We leave it at default. Port to be connected, leave it at default. Destination, any destination. Services, custom, leave it by default. Destination port range. This one we have to make sure that every connection that we make from the virtual machine will be denied. So protocol, internet, there are many protocol. We just set every protocol. So important part here. This one you have to select deny. Priority, you put 1000, slightly lower priority. Then name, you leave it aside. This one deny any access from VM. Then click add. So this will take a while for the system to add to the rule. So it's pretty fast now. So after that you can check if the rule you have to, this is an outbound rule. I mean then you go out. So you can see here we created a new rule here. Okay. So what we need to do next here is we have to go back to our virtual machine, and then we close this tab here, We close. Okay, then we try to go to a new website, www.bing.com. Can we still access or not? It will take some time, actually, for this rule to be enforced. It can, like I said, it will take a few seconds to a few minutes. So basically, if you notice that you still can access for internet, just perhaps wait for a few moments and give it a try again afterward. So with that, we completed our lab on network security group. Then we can move into our next lab.